Well, good evening, everyone. And we'll all kick our phones off here just to make sure, myself included, to shut off the phones just to make sure we don't bother anyone. I welcome everybody back, all council. And tonight we have stepping in for our youth mayor, our Megan Ebel, and Mayor Maya Nipfel, who is here. They will take both the roles. And ladies, please add to, if you wish to add something to the comments or the debates that we have, raise your hand and we will include you, and I'll make sure we kind of ask you, so don't be shy about talking. With this regular council meeting, we're going to start here Monday, September 24th at 5 p.m. Or a little bit afterwards, and the first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting held September 10th, 2018. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that, Your Worship.
Second?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Are there any additions to the agendas? Mr. Warren?
No additions from the administration.
From council? No additions. We'll move forward. There are no public hearing notices, no delegations or proclamations or petitions this day, no reports of standing committees. Consent agenda. We have the cash activity report. Do I have a motion on accepting it?
Your Worship, I'd like to make the motion that the cash activity report for August 2018 on the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Second?
I'll second that motion, Your Worship.
Questions? There are no questions. Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Next are the motions. Accounts payable. Do I have a motion, please?
Your Worship, I'd like to make the motion that the purchases in the amount of $721,668.35 from September 7th to September 20th, 2018 be passed for payment.
Second?
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Questions? There are no questions. Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Our next one is the committee appointment with Environmental Resource Committee, and our committees have been changing a little also slightly, and we also are looking for other people who are wishing to step forward to sit on some of the committees within the city. So we ask any of the viewers out there to watch the paper when we are asking, or if you wish, come in and see our city clerk and put in your request that you'd like to sit on one of our standing committees. For this one, Mr. Van Betju.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to make a motion that Grant Marcotte be appointed to the Environmental Resource Committee for the remainder of 2018.
Your Worship, I'd like to second that motion.
Questions? If there's no questions, call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And we welcome Mr. Marcotte to that committee. We're going to introduce some bylaws. Our offsite development levy. Mr. Warren? Again, I'm following my notes here. Amanda, okay. Go ahead.
As per the Planning Development Act, Section 169 and 172 3B, City Council may pass a bylaw establishing and charging offsite development levies or subdivision servicing fees for one or more purposes described in the Act. The City of Weyburn engaged a consultant who completed a study in December 2012 regarding the capital costs for providing municipal services and infrastructure to developable land within the City of Weyburn limits, as well as projects required to maintain or expand existing infrastructure based on future development. As a result of the study, the City of Weyburn was collecting $86,000 an acre of land upon development, or 1222 a square foot of building area. Upon reviewing the study completed by Stantec and the projects listed in the report, we felt some modifications were warranted. Due to the fact that the city was not experiencing the anticipated annual growth as presumed in the study, we have decided that all projects listed within the report that were scheduled for 2021 or later would be removed, and the City of Weyburn should engage a consulting firm to review the existing study and determine a more accurate growth rate and amend the capital project list. Based on the amended list of capital projects, the new offsite development levy fee would be $45,121.28 an acre of development land. This levy would be applied to all development projects located on sites greater than 1 acre. For smaller site developments and redevelopments, the fee calculated was $4.51 per square foot of building area. Proposed subdivisions will also be required to pay the $45,121.28 plus any modifications on all developable sites created. This would not include any roads, lanes, municipal buffers, etc., only sites which private development can occur. Also, on any private subdivisions, there was a clause added that allows developers to not pay any further development levies in case increased from the time of subdivision for a period of 5 years. This will allow developers time to sell the newly subdivided lots without any potential for unknown costs. It will also assist developers in making their financial plan with regards to the development. As required, public notices were posted in 2 consecutive issues of the Weyburn Review on the city website as well as at City Hall, with no concerns or issues being brought forward at this time. Staff recommends council give first reading to bylaw 2018-3388, a bylaw to establish off-site development levies.
Do you have the reading?
Your Worship, I'd like to make a motion that bylaw 2018-3388, being the off-site development levy bylaw for the city of Weyburn, be read a first time.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Any questions or comments? With that, call the question. All in favor? So moves the first reading of the bylaw. The next bylaw is the street and lane closure, 8th Avenue South. Amanda?
A request has been received from Minard's Leisure World for the closure and sale of undeveloped street and lanes along 8th Avenue, west of Government Road, South. The request was part of a proposal to purchase the land, as well as lots 45, 47, 48, and Block 2, Plan 99 SE 38080, in order to expand their business. As per the City Act, the public notice policy, notices were posted in 2 consecutive issues of the Weyburn Review at City Hall, as well as mailed to the owners of 703, 709, and 717 Government Road South, with no concerns or issues being brought forward. As this portion of 8th Avenue, as well as the 2 lanes, are undeveloped and have no purpose for use as roadway or lanes, and do not provide any street access or exit for any property adjacent to the roads and lanes, and not utilized by the traveling public, staff recommends council give second, third reading to bylaw 2018-3386, a bylaw to authorize the sale and closure of the above-mentioned lands.
Do you have a motion, please?
Your Worship, I'll move that bylaw 2018-3386 for the purpose of closure and sale of an undeveloped portion of 8th Ave Southeast, as well as closure of 2 lanes, be read a second time.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Third reading?
Your Worship, I'll move that bylaw 2018-3386 for the purpose of closure and sale of an undeveloped portion of 8th Ave Southeast, as well as closure of 2 lanes, be read a third time and passed.
Second?
I'll second it, Your Worship.
Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And it is passed. Very good. There's, before you sit down, I believe you're up again. So unfinished business, there is none. The next one is discretionary use application of Cannabis store, 85B Government Road North.
The development of a cannabis retail store has been proposed by Torrance Aiken of Wheatland Cannabis Corp. for 85B Government Road, which is currently an empty space. Zoning of this site is a major arterial commercial, and therefore cannabis retail store is considered a discretionary use. The existing floor space is considered standalone as it is separated by walls and a ceiling from other floor spaces within the building. It is complete with the required fire separations and required egress. The applicant proposes to do minor alterations to the floor space. There will not be any exposure of the product to minors or youth, as there will not be any visibility from outside, and all inventory will be secured and only accessible by staff. SLGA also has security requirements for the cannabis retail store in which the applicant must comply. Store hours of operation are proposed to be Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. However, they may be modified in the future. SLGA does set the minimum requirements for hours of operation be at least 6 hours a day, opening not earlier than 8 a.m. and closing not later than 3 a.m., 5 days a week. The major arterial commercial zone is designed for the development of retail, service, and office business servicing the traveling public and residents of the city, which require locations with good visibility and accessibility along major arterial roadways. The site does meet all site requirements as well as setbacks and parking requirements for the proposed use. As well, there are no other cannabis retail stores, elementary schools, high schools, nursery schools, or commercial daycare centers, social service homes, or halfway houses within a 200-meter radius of this location. As a discretionary use, we sent out neighborhood notices to all residents within 75-meter radius of the proposed development to give them an opportunity for input or concerns. Notices were sent out on September 4th with no concerns or objections received. As such, staff recommends that council approve the cannabis retail store at 85B Government Road, subject to the following conditions. A minimum of 2 off-street parking stalls must be provided and maintained on the property, meeting design requirements of Section 14.1.8 of the zoning bylaw. Building permits shall be required to ensure barrier-free standards are met, as well as emergency lighting, exit lights, and portable fire extinguishers at each exit. No occupancy or operations shall proceed until final inspection has been completed by the building official. No operations shall proceed until City of Weyburn business license is obtained and accompanied by a written approval from SLGA that provincial permit is in the process of being finalized for this location. No drive-through service is permitted. The owner shall comply with all federal and provincial acts and regulations regarding the sale of cannabis and cannabis accessories. The owner shall comply with all security requirements as set out by SLGA.
With this one, do we have a motion, please?
Yes, Your Worship. I'll move that discretionary use application of Torrance Aiken of Wheatland Cannabis Corp. For the development of a cannabis retail store at 85 Government Road, 85B, zoned as arterial commercial, be approved with the conditions presented.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Any discussion?
Thanks, Your Worship. A couple of things. First off, Amanda, thanks for your homework on this. You got this wrapped up very tightly, and I appreciate that. Both you and Mr. Aiken have done a lot of work here to make sure. I just want to be clear, and I think I'm clear. So ongoing, the regulatory compliance is with the Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority, not with the City of Weyburn, as it pertains to the sale of the cannabis. I mean, for sure, fire code and that kind of thing.
Right.
Like a bar, right?
Yes,
That
yeah.
They're complying with SLGA's legal requirements.
Yeah, they will have inspections done by SLGA to ensure that they are always compliant.
Yeah, thank you.
With that, is the, do we call the question? All in favor? Carried unanimously. I'm just, as I'm trying to read through and try to find this next one, because on the next one, there's a letter of opposition is for a home occupation. If you would, please, Amanda. Go ahead.
An application has been received from Supawadi Bumstead to operate a Thai massage service from her residence in a spare bedroom at 615 Stavely Crescent, located in an R1 zone in Hyde Park subdivision. This business will operate from the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday by appointment only, with minimal anticipated increase to traffic flow. This would be considered controversial as the occupation involves clients being directed to the home throughout the day. With minimum anticipated increase to traffic, parking in the driveway will be available for clients as there will only be one a day. Neighborhood notices were mailed out on August 22nd with one neighborhood concern received. The concern was for the potential of too much traffic, as was seen in this neighborhood with a previous home occupation. As such, staff is recommending approval with conditions that the request for home occupation for a Thai massage service at 615 Stavely Crescent be approved with the following conditions. No person other than the resident of the dwelling shall be engaged in the home occupation as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying out the address of the dwelling in which the home occupation occurs may be placed in any media. The face of any home business sign on site must not exceed .092 meters squared and must be placed with the inside half of the front yard setback. Home occupations are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance. Owner's driveway shall be used for off-street parking of clients. No more than one client per appointment shall be at the dwelling at any given time during the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to operation of the home occupation.
Do you have a Motion, please.
Yeah, thanks, Your Worship. I'll make the motion that the application for home occupation from Supawati Bumstead to operate a Thai massage service from a residence at 617 Stavely Crescent be approved with the conditions presented.
Second.
I'll second, Your Worship.
Questions? Go ahead.
Thanks, Your Worship. These personal services, we do a lot of these as home occupations, correct? This is
Yes.
not an unusual
No.
application whatsoever. Without being too specific, Amanda, can you tell us the business that was there or that was on that street previously? Is it no longer there?
Yeah, it's no longer there. The people have moved, but it was the same type of business.
Okay. Thanks.
Dick?
Thank you, Your Worship. I wonder if maybe in the future, if people that are applying for these can maybe make an appearance at council in case we want to ask them questions. We have 3 on the agenda tonight, and I don't think they're in the gallery at all.
There's one.
Maybe there is?
Yes.
So I think going forward, I think I'd like to see at least them present so we can ask questions.
And I do tell them all that they need to come to council, so. The next one just couldn't come. He's out of Weyburn, so.
Under there. So I gained the home, one of the things that was brought up at the meetings that Mr. Warren had with his managers and that, for your information, Mr. Mickle, when you had said that on the periodic review of this, that our bylaw officer will be making inspections of these to make sure that they comply with no signage and that. Is that correct, Mr. Warren?
That's correct, Your Worship.
So with this, I'm just relating that out so that if people are having any issues with any of the problems with it, they are to direct them to our bylaw officer, who is located within our Weyburn Police Service, and they can make any complaints through them, to work.
Thanks for bringing that forward.
And with that, call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. The next, home occupation.
An application has been received from Jordan Clark to operate a carpentry woodworking business from his residence in a detached garage, which will be constructed in the spring, at 339 Government Road, located in R3 zone in the Mergens Place subdivision. This business will operate during various hours throughout the week, as most work is done without clients being at the home. However, there will be customers stop and pick up items. No customers will be directed to the dwelling any later than 9 p.m. This is considered controversial, as the occupation would involve some clients being directed to the home throughout the day to pick up their items. There is parking in the driveway available for the clients, and there will only be 1 vehicle per appointment. Neighborhood notices were mailed out on August 29th to all owners within 75 meters of the applicant's home. One concern was brought forward with the potential of excessive noise from power tools. I did get a hold of Jordan Clark, as he is out of town, so he did reply and say most of the tools that were going to be used were hand tools. He shouldn't have too many power tools on the go, and everything will be done within the garage. With that, staff is recommending approval with conditions that the request for home occupation for carpentry woodworking business at 339 Government Road be approved with following conditions: that no person other than the resident of the dwelling unit shall be engaged in the home occupation as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying out the address of the dwelling in which the home occupation occurs may be placed in any media. The face of any home business sign on site must not exceed .092 meters squared and must be placed within the inside half of the front yard setback. Home occupations are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance. No customers shall be directed to the dwelling after 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Owner shall ensure noise pollution, if any, is avoided by ensuring all work is done within the detached garage, and no work related to the home occupation shall occur after 7 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Owner's driveway shall be used for off-street parking for clients, and a City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to operation of the home occupation.
Have a motion, please?
Yes, Your Worship. Make a motion that the application of a home occupancy from Jordan Clark to operate a carpentry woodworking business from his residence on 339 Government Road be approved with the conditions presented.
Do you have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Questions?
Thanks, Your Worship. Amanda, I think you answered this too, but I just would be clear. Is it safe to say that prior to what's coming up, a lot of this woodworking was done outside of a building, and now it's going to be done inside of a building?
He actually hasn't started this business yet. The reason the concern was brought forward from the neighbor is because Jordan has done a lot of renovations to his house. He's built a new foundation, new front and back veranda. So there was a lot of power tools, as he is a carpenter and he did most of the work on his house himself. So yeah, it was done in his backyard.
But going forward, he
Going
expects...
forward, he's going to build a new garage in the spring, and everything will be done within the garage.
Thanks.
One of the things that we all know that while doing outside renovations, in any construction, there is always noise, and this has always been a issue where people are trying to work and the noise appears to bother other people, but a lot of times construction cannot be accomplished without noise on there, especially outside. With this, it should be contained. The other thing I would like to point out to our youth council over here, that as you go, as you listen to these home occupations and you have the youth entrepreneurship there, you can relate back to them that there are certain criteria that must be met within our city to do when starting a business, and this is one of the ones, to get city approval and making sure that it all fits to our zoning bylaws, to our businesses, and to other people's use. So with that, call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Next one is the home occupation, 138 Birch Drive. Amanda?
An application has been received from Rebecca Stadler to operate a craft rustic decor business from her residence in the basement at 138 Birch Drive, located in the R1 zone in the Highfield Park subdivision. This business will operate during various hours throughout the week, as most work is done without clients being at the home. However, customers will stop to pick items up. No customers will be directed to the dwelling any later than 9 p.m. This is considered controversial, as clients will be directed to the home. With minimum anticipated increase of traffic flow, parking in the driveway will be available for clients, as there will only be one vehicle at a time. Neighborhood notices were mailed out on August 29th with no concerns or objections received. As such, staff is recommending that the request for home occupation for a craft rustic decor business at 138 Birch Drive be approved with the following conditions. No person other than the resident of the dwelling unit shall be engaged in the home occupation as an employee or volunteer. No advertisement carrying out the address of the dwelling in which the home occupation occurs may be placed in any media. The face of any home business sign on site must not exceed .092 square meters and must be placed within the inside half of the front yard setback. Home occupations are subject to periodic review to ensure compliance. No customers shall be directed to the dwelling after 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday. The owner's driveway shall be used for off-street parking for clients, and a City of Weyburn business license shall be obtained prior to operation of the home occupation.
Your Worship, I'd like to move that the application for a home occupation from Rebecca Statler to operate a craft/rustic decor business from her residence at 138 Birch Drive be approved with conditions presented.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Any comments?
I just have a question. So what is a craft rustic decor business? Is it a retail business, or is
It will be like those hobbies that you see at trade shows. So she'll be making crafts and rustic decor, wood signs and whatnot, and she'll be selling them, and people will just stop by and pick them up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. With that, we are finished with that, and thank you, Amanda, for your help tonight. The other one is we move on to inquiries and announcements. Mr. Richards.
Thanks, Your Worship. Our astute city clerk pointed out to me today, and we should be very proud of her. Our very own Tennille Arts is featured today on Rolling Stone magazine's website as one of the top 10 country artists to watch going forward. So congratulations, Tennille. You're doing us proud over and over again. Good for her. Rolling Stone, as we know, is probably the premier magazine for the music industry. So this is quite an accomplishment for her.
Any other ones? I have a few here tonight. First off, I want to give pass on a congratulations to both Mr. Van Betju and to Laura here. That was passed on from Myron Fletcher with all the assistance and aid in getting the caravan And he stated that we have, Caravan Society has now got a brand-new caravan, which they've been badly needing. They said that both you people did excellent work helping getting with grants and putting things together, and he wanted to make sure that that was passed on to you, onto there. So thank you very much. And that is what we as the city and all the city workers and council are here for, is to help people within our society to attain their goals. Government road paving update. Nader, if you could tell us why there are delays, if there's any delays or how things are going there.
There is some delays because of the weather, so we were expecting ASL paving to come and stop by the city today and start the paving. However, due to the wet conditions, so this may be pushed to next week once, like, you know, the soil is again dry. So
it's a compaction issue that
the compaction is, like, you know, we already have finished, like, the base and sub base 100%. Because of the wet condition, we are getting some mushy spots where we are getting to re-excavate it and put dry material or leave it for the sun if we have a couple of days with good weather.
Because we received how much rain in the last little while, you know?
Inch.
How much? An inch? About an inch. And there's expected for rain tomorrow for the next couple of days. So again, paving is pushed back due to this on there. I ask that because on the last few days I've been down in Toronto, and this is the last announcement I'll make, to the CPG, the Canadian Police Governance Board, which I'm a board member of, the Canadian one. And at that one, we accomplished quite a lot here in the idea that we made a resolution that we are going to draft a Bill of Rights, Duties, and Responsibilities for police boards, which really equates also to what councils would do. And with that, once that is drafted over this rest of 2018 into 2019, that'll be presented at the 2019 meeting is the goal. And with that, they will present also a 3-module training center for all police boards, which will assist police boards throughout the country. I may want to make note too, that was said over and over again through our different facilitators that were there with us, that Canada is very unique, that we are the only country in the world that has police governance, civilian oversight boards on police departments. So it's very unique, and it's very quite an honor to be on this board. As Mr. Stephenson, a past councillor, was the president of it, and he still sits on the board. So we, as Weyburn ourselves, have added to an awful lot to this board and the continuance of proper police governance throughout the country. With that, any other inquiries or announcements being made? So with that, there's no request, notice of motion, no request for clarification, no committees of the whole. And with that, I would bid you all a good night, and we will call this meeting adjourned.